The winter solstice occurred on Sunday, December 21st. That moment marked the longest night of the year, the point of deepest darkness. And just as importantly, it marked the exact turning point. From that moment forward, the light is returning, not all at once and not dramatically. It's returning steadily, reliably, and inevitably as it always does. And that's the message of the solstice. It's not a signal of despair, but assurance that the darkness has reached its limit and the light shall now begin breaking through. For thousands of years, cultures across the world understood this moment as a reset point. It's a pause, perhaps a breath or cosmic inhale before expansion begins once again. Even without modern science, humans feel it. Something is shifting, something is loosening, and something is quietly preparing to rise, now that we're on the other side of that threshold. Each day from here on carries more light than the day before. Even if you can't see it yet, it's happening. And that matters, not just astronomically, but emotionally, psychologically, and energetically. Scientifically, the solstice happens because of Earth's tilt. The northern hemisphere reaches its farthest point away from the sun, and then the direction reverses. The sun begins its slow return above us as daylight increases and energetic systems begin to respond. Our biology and hormones respond to the increasing light. Circadian rhythms align, and so do we. Human beings aren't separate from these cycles. We're actually tuned to and respond to them. When the light increases, motivation slowly begins to reactivate, and hope begins to regenerate as our clarity sharpens. Even our healing processes tend to accelerate when the body senses a forward movement instead of a contraction. From an energetic perspective, the winter solstice represents something just as important. It's a period of stillness between cycles. Perhaps think of 0 point. The collective field with our shared emotional and mental vibrations tends to quiet during this time, and our activity slows for a season. Distractions reduce, and our attention naturally turns inward. Don't perceive this as weakness or retraction, guys. It's preparation like soil in the winter, where nothing looks alive on the surface, but beneath it, systems are reorganizing. Nutrients are redistributing and roots are strengthening so that everything is getting ready for the new cycle. This is what the winter solstice predicates. All beings must take a rest and regroup. And now, as we move past December 21st, we enter the phase of emergence. This is the rebirth of the light, not just outside of us, but within us. If you've felt tired lately, foggy, emotionally heavy, or uncertain, that doesn't mean you're falling behind. It means you've been moving through a natural contraction phase, a closing chapter. This time of year asks less of us in terms of action, and more in terms of awareness. And here's where the shift becomes empowering. You don't have to force anything right now. You don't have to rush clarity. You don't have to figure everything out. All you have to do is notice. Notice the subtle changes. Notice moments of calm. Notice small returns of energy or curiosity. Notice when your breath deepens without trying. That awareness alone begins to tune your nervous system and your consciousness to a higher level of coherence. For those who are surrounded by loved ones during the holidays, this is a chance to recognize the warmth that shared emotion creates. Laughter, gratitude, generosity. These are not just feelings. They're measurable states that increase heart-brain synchronization and stabilize the collective emotional field. And for those who are alone, this message matters just as much, if not more. Being alone during this season does not mean being disconnected. In fact, solitude can make it easier to sense these shifts. The quiet you may be experiencing is not emptiness, it's space. Space for recalibration and for refinement of our intuition. It's space for something new to enter, and you aren't missing the moment, guys. You're inside it. When you begin to connect with the subtle universe around you, it becomes very clear that you aren't alone, but a part of an amazing cosmic design. The collective frequency during this post-solstice period tends to become more coherent, not because everyone agrees, but because attention turns inward rather than outward. There's just less noise, less conflict, and less projection. Just look out the window at the pristine glow of a coherence that makes it easier to access higher perceptual states, such as clarity, insight, and subtle awareness. Some traditions would call this moving closer to higher density consciousness. Others might call it alignment. Whatever language you use, the effect is the same, and how it affects you is your choice. You may begin to notice that your thoughts slow down, that emotional reactions soften, and that ideas arrive fully formed rather than forced. This isn't accidental. As the light increases, systems organize more efficiently. In physics, coherence allows energy to move with less resistance. In human terms, it allows healing to occur more naturally, and that includes mental, emotional, and physical healing. This is why many ancient cultures associated the solstice with rebirth, not as a metaphor, but as an observable process. Do you perceive it yet? And here's the most important part. This rebirth doesn't require belief or effort on our part. It doesn't require ritual or perfection. It only requires awareness. When you notice the shift, you participate in it. That's all it takes. When you feel it, even briefly, you strengthen the pathway. And when you share that awareness through a thought, a conversation, or even by sharing this message, you help stabilize the collective field. That's how change spreads quietly, not through force but through effortless resonance. So as we move forward from December 21st, allow yourself to relax and move gently, savoring the respite. Let the light return at its own pace and trust the process, even if the results aren't visible yet. Because they're already underway, and this isn't the end of something, it's the turning point. The days are getting longer once again. The signal is strengthening, and the system is coming back online for another round of evolutionary change. Whether you feel joyful, reflective, uncertain, or hopeful, you're exactly where you need to be. The light is returning, and so is the essence of your being. Be aware of the subtle shift. If you perceive, recognize it, and welcome it, you're further along than you think. Finish your slumber, my family. Soon we are headed to the unimaginable, and all indicators is that 2026 is going to be a pivotal period of positive transformation for the world. Merry Christmas. Enjoy the quiet because things are gonna be changing quickly now.